How much time do you waste looking for photos in your photo library? And hey, it's okay if you do, because I can tell you right here and now, you're not alone. In fact, this is something that I waste a lot of time doing. And there are a lot of photographers out there who spend countless hours desperately searching for the perfect photo. That's why today we are going to go inside of DxO Photolab 9, and I'm going to show you how we can use the keywording tool inside of this software to make our lives much easier. Because it's really not about file organization, it's really about smarter keywording. And smarter keywording is going to make it a lot easier to find images that we might need for a specific photography project. Hey everyone, I'm Jeff from Magnolia Photography SC, professional wildlife photographer in Charleston, South Carolina. If you are new to the channel, I want to welcome you in. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you're returning to the channel, I want to welcome you back. It's great to see you yet again. So keywording is our topic of the day, and this is a very powerful and valuable tool when it comes to our asset management. And so we're going to take a hard look at this inside of DxO today. And the truth of the matter is, this is pretty straightforward and pretty simple, but it's just a matter of really developing a workflow and a process that's consistent. And the more you can do this, the more effective your keyword and your image management is going to be. So that's what I really want to start to kind of plant that seed in your head right now, right? Get a good system in place, however you want to add your keywords and whenever you want to add your keywords, but you just want to make sure that you go through these steps of doing it. And really the more, the quicker you start this process, the easier it's going to be. What I would probably recommend is that as you upload new images into your photo library, go through the process of culling those images, right? So you're getting rid of all the photos that aren't going to stay in the photo library. You're going to get rid of them for one reason or another. Maybe they're a duplicate, maybe they're blurry, maybe there's some other problem with them, but they're leaving the library. And then all you're left with are the photos that you're going to keep. And this is probably the time that you want to go to the photo library inside of DxO Photolab and add your keywords. And if you kind of do this system and repeat this, this will become a habit, and you will thank yourself later on when it's very easy to find a photo. You might be working on a special project. Maybe you're not. Maybe you just want to find a photo that you know you took. Maybe you just want it to be the new wallpaper on your computer. Well, who wants to spend an hour trying to find an image just to add it as a wallpaper? Or maybe you want to print something, or maybe you want to share something online, or maybe there's a friend or a family member, you really want to show a specific image to. If you add keywords to it, you'll be able to pull it up in the matter of a couple of seconds. So let's jump into Photolab and take a look at this powerful tool. Okay, so welcome into Photolab 9. What you're going to see by the blue highlighted tab up here is that we are currently in the photo library inside of DxO Photolab 9. Now, if we wanted to do something editing wise, maybe reduce the noise, adjust our exposure, manage our colors, we would then go into the Customize tab. That is where we do all of our photo editing inside of this software. But we're doing keywording, and that falls under asset management, and we need to be in the photo library for that. So if we come down to the bottom right-hand side, we're going to notice that there is a section here for keywording. So we have that little panel over there. And essentially what we can do is we can start typing keywords in this little box. And if we have that keyword already down here below in our this keyword list, it's going to populate as we're typing, and we can just basically hit enter a couple of times, and it's going to add the keyword to our photo. If we don't already have that keyword, then we will go ahead, type it in, add it to our photo, and then it will automatically be added to our keyword list. So the next time we come across a photo where we use that keyword, it will populate as we type. Of course, one way that we could add a keyword to a photo is to just kind of come down here and, look through the list of what we have and add it to the photo. But quite honestly, at some point, this list is going to become pretty long, right? As we add more and more keywords, that's not going to be a real efficient way of adding keywords. And it's really going to kind of go against what we're looking to gain here, right? It's going to take away all our efficiencies of adding keywords. So we would want to avoid something along those lines. What we'd want to do, if we're looking at this little guy up here, we have a yellow crowned night heron. So we would come over here and we'll start typing. Oh, well, we can see that we have a yellow rumped warbler, but we don't have the yellow crowned night heron in here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add that keyword to this photo. And here's how we can tell if we have a keyword associated with an image. Once we highlight the image, if we come over to the keyword section again, if we have a gray box down here with the name, that is one sign that we have a keyword associated with that image. We can also go up here a little bit higher to the metadata. Now, normally when you come into the program, it looks a little bit more like this. It's not expanded. So this is the condensed version that you're typically going to see. And what I want you to really notice is that right here at the bottom of it, you'll see this little gray wording that says advanced settings with a plus sign. Want you to click on that. And if you come down to the bottom, you're going to see keywords, yellow crowned night heron. So this is yet another visual confirmation that we have a keyword associated with this image. So I just wanted to show you those two different ways that you can tell this. Now, we could go ahead and say, okay, we've got this as a yellow crowned night heron, but maybe we need some further identifiers, because if we're doing a search later on for yellow crowned night herons, we might have 2,000 of these images. This is a very popular bird here in South Carolina, and I have a lot of pictures of these birds. So I don't want to search through thousands of images trying to figure out which one I might want for a project. I might look at this and go, okay, well, I know on this particular morning, the yellow crowned night heron was fishing, right? So maybe I will also go, maybe I will add the keyword fishing. I could even type in yellow crowned night heron fishing, right? And add that whole keyword with it. I could do fishing. I could do water. And these would kind of be words, right? Identifiers to the type of image this is. So we got a yellow crowned night heron fishing in the water. And later on, that can be really beneficial when we're looking for that specific image. So let's take a look at this. I'll tell you what, we'll do this blue heron here. So we have a great blue heron. So let's start typing this keyword. We have a great, and this one we already have in our keyword list, right? So here's a good example. If we don't need to continue typing to add it on, we've already got it in there. So we can just click on it, and then we just need to hit enter a couple of times, and it's going to go ahead and it's going to add the great blue heron keyword. Well, we might also want to do something like we just did with the yellow crowned night heron. We might want to add on a few additional identifiers to this image. We might want to add in water. We might want to add in foggy. We might even want to add in marsh, right? These are all things kind of going on inside of this photo. But keep in mind now, every time we add one of these keywords, it's getting dropped in to our keyword list down here below. So this list is just continuing to grow and grow and grow and get bigger and bigger. So again, this is very simple keywording, but we do have another option here inside of Photolab 9 to add keywords and make our keyword list a little bit more condensed, make it a little bit more simple. Let's take a look at what we can do here. So if we go over to this cardinal, we got this beautiful red cardinal sitting up in a tree. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at the keyword box where we add our keywords, but we're going to take a look at this little icon right next to it. And what this is saying is that we can establish a hierarchy to our keywords. And what this is really showing us is that we're going to have a parent keyword, and then we're going to have child keywords underneath it. So let me show you how we would enter this in to make a very condensed keyword with multiple words. First thing that we might come over and do is we might come over and say, okay, let's start with the parent keyword, and we'll say birds, okay? Then we're going to enter the right arrow or the greater than sign. So it's going to look like this. I'll just zoom in for you a little bit there. So we have birds with that right arrow, right? The greater than sign. And then we might add something like cardinal. And we'll add another right arrow. And we could add something like songbird. We could even go further, and maybe we could add the color red to it. Because maybe later on, if we're doing a project, maybe we want to identify birds by a specific color. Maybe we have a project that's requiring us to have a bird of a certain color. So we can add whatever color we want to our keywords. And so this could be the ultimate keyword that we add to this image, and we just hit enter, and you're going to see that it added all of those keywords: birds, cardinal, red, songbird. Again, if we go up here to the keywords and the metadata, we're going to see all those keywords: birds, cardinal, red, and songbird. But what's more helpful for making our keyword list a little bit more compressed, a little bit more compact, you'll see that as instead of having single keywords one after the other and really expanding that list out, you're going to see now that we have the birds with a little arrow here, right? This is the identifier that we've created a keyword that has a hierarchy to it. So every time we click, we're going to expand one more level. Now it's going to go down to the cardinal. We click that, it's going to go down to the songbird. And when we click that, it's going to go down to red, right? So we can simply either collapse or expand that to see the different keywords. And again, this is just going to make our keyword list much more simple, much more compact. So that can be a really beneficial way of making your keyword list. So those are the two ways that you're going to create keywords. Those are the ways that you're going to add them to your images. Now, this is a very small folder with a very limited number of images. But if we just were pretending for a moment and thinking that, okay, well, we have thousands and thousands of images, in this particular folder, how would we go about finding these types of subjects, right? What would we do if we wanted to search for keywords? And we have so many different ways that we can do that. So if you come up to the upper left-hand corner again, right underneath the photo library in the Customize tab, we have a search box here. So we could simply type in, we'll do something like, we'll just assume we're doing a project. We won't type in the great blue heron. We won't do it by name. We'll do it by a keyword that we typed in, right? So, hey, I need a photo right now with a little atmospheric condition. So I'm going to type in foggy. And what you're going to notice that it's going to pull up different things associated with foggy. But what we're looking for here is the keyword, right? The icon here with the key. And we're going to see foggy, and it has one keyword. So if we click on this, it's just going to bring up any image that we have with the keyword foggy associated with it. We could also come up here and we could go red. And again, we're going to look at here. We have a red shoulder hawk. That is one of the keywords that we have. Well, we know we don't want that because we didn't want the red shouldered hawk. So we could go to the other keyword. Yes, remember, I want the red songbird. So if we click on that, that is going to bring up our cardinal. And so you can see that very easily we can manage our photos and we can find our photos very, very quickly. Now, this is going to get away from what we're doing here, but just want you to really know that aside from keywording, we can find photos by doing a lot of other things inside of DxO. So we can come up here and we can search for images with basically anything we want. So we could do ISO 100 if we wanted to do that. And we could go ahead and see what we have here, right? So if we click on that, it's going to bring up different images. So it's in the process of loading, and right now it's just going very slowly because I'm doing the screen recording software and it's trying to load all these images. But we can just continue to go through. We could even do a shutter speed of 1/2000, right? So that's something else that you can do. And you can see, and rather than click on it, I'll just show you, we have 2052 images with that metadata associated with it. And if we clicked on that, it's going to bring up images with that information. So maybe you'll have use for that information, maybe you won't, but the keywording is probably really where you're going to be most focused, right? Because you're typically going to be trying to figure out where most of your images are because you're going to need them for whatever project you're working on. So this is how we can use keywording very simply. Again, this is a workflow that you're going to want to establish for yourself. Do you want to do it at the time of image upload, after you go through and cull your images and you figure out when you're going to keep them? Do you want to edit your images and then come back and keyword them later? Whatever works for you. The key, again, is trying to find something that is consistent and repeatable for you so that you do this, because in the long run, this is going to save you a mountain of time. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you liked this video. If you want to learn more about DxO Photolab 9, head down to the show notes. I have a link there that's going to take you right on over to check out Photolab 9. And if you decide that you want to purchase it, just be sure at the time of checkout, you use my special discount code. That is Magnolia, and that will save you 15% off your purchase. You can also, if you're not ready to make a purchase at this time, go ahead and download a 30-day free trial so you can test out the product for yourself. If you want to learn anything else about DxO, head on over to my store, magnoliaphotographysc.com/store. By the time this video releases, my DxO Photolab 9 Masterclass should be up there. So if you're new to the program or you want to improve upon your skills, you should consider picking up a copy of that course. I also have other products over there to help you in the learning of your wildlife photography. I have both free and paid resources, so check those out as well. Thank you again for joining me today. Don't forget before you leave that you might want to check out this next video.